everyone. Like today, theme about recognize active and passive meaning. What is the sentence recognizing the active and passive meaning? The active and passive recognized sentence is the active sentence opposite of the passive sentence. Now I will add explanation about recognized active and passive meaning. In the active sentence, the subject performs the action of the main verb. In the passive sentence, the action of the main verb is done for the subject sentence compilation has no object, with or without die after the verb. Regarding the meaning of the sentence, to determine whether the verb must contain an active or passive form. And then as an explanation will be explained by my friend.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Vivian Sundari. I would like to explain you about recognize active and passive meaning. Before we focusing our material today, so we have to know first about what is active sentence and passive sentences. Okay, active sentence is a sentence whose subject doing something, and for a passive sentences are subject to work. So it is the kind of active sentence and passive sentence. So we back to our material today, recognize active and passive meaning. If there is no object, didn't use by or use by after verb, we have to look at the meaning, because sometimes we didn't know how to decide it should be active or should be passive, because it's one thing that is very difficult, especially in TOEFL, because we sometimes find the sentences without object, without by, using by, but there is no object or etc. So that's why we have to carefully with the meaning, to recognize the meaning. So how to do it? First we have to learn about the meaning, the subject and the verb, and all that we know the sentences is wrong or not, because it is little bit difficult for TOEFL especially. And then if we have the other way, I have the other way, we just can imagine that and ask yourself, if the performer is working on action, so active sentences is needed, or if operator is accept action, so passive is needed. Thank you, and the next explanation will continue by my friend, of course, about the example.
Hello everyone. In the previous speaker, my friend has been explained what is active and passive meaning. So now let's do an example so we can learn and understand this better. The first example, you can see the sentence is she read a book in the library. This is an active sentence because this is a verb and this is the object, which is the subject is she. So the sentence is correct. This is active sentence. And the second example, The book is read by her in the library. You can see this is a passive verb plus by her, which indicates who does the action. So this sentence is also correct.
Here the example of recognizing the passive or active meaning with by plus object. First you must know is when there is no object with or without by, after a verb you must look at the meaning of the sentence to determine if the verb should be active or passive. Sentences with an active incorrect passive verb and no by plus object to tell you that the verb should be passive are the most difficult. Passive error to recognize on the TOEFL test. Study this example. The first example is we mailed the package the post office. The first example has the active verb mailed used with the object package. The first sentence is the letter was mailed by us today before noon. The second example has the passive verb was mailed used with by us. And the third example is the letter was mailed today before noon. The third sentence has the passive verb was mailed used without an object.
Hi everybody. I'm going to conclude every explanation of my friends before about recognize the passive and active meaning. So, when the subject of the sentence is perform the verb's action, we say that the sentence is in active sentence. Sentences in active sentence have a strong, direct and clear tone, while a sentence is in passive sentence when the subject of the sentence is acted on by the verb. The passive sentence always constructed with conjunctive form to be plus the verb past participle. Doing this usually generates a preposition as well. But sometimes passive sentence didn't use by or an object. We can learn its meaning, its verb, or its subject to know whether it is passive or active sentence. I think that's it for me. Thank you. See you.